and let's get it sent through to the. So we're back in. We're back in. In this video today, we're going to discuss the male journey of masculine excellence. It's a cheesy thing a lot of people are talking about at the moment, or the last few years. Masculine this, masculine that. What is the male journey? What is masculine excellence? How do women feature in this? Are you a guy that struggles in this domain of your life? Do you feel that you're revving the engine and the car's pointing forward? You know where you want to go, but the handbrake is on, my brother. You can't move forward. You can't move forward in life, and you can't move forward with the girl. You can't go over to the girl. You can't approach. Your biology, you are betraying your biology. You already know what you want to do. You already know, but you can't do it right now because you're too inhibited. Or maybe you do go over and things just aren't going well at the moment because you've got blind spots. And most guys just don't even go over. So if you are going over, well done at least for that. So on this channel, I talk a lot about cold approach, daytime approach, nighttime approach, relating to women, etc., etc. And I see all of that stuff as very much part of the journey for male excellence, part of the journey for masculine excellence. Yeah, you want to get that area of your life somewhat sorted so you can actually focus on the important stuff, right? So you can focus on the important stuff. You might even want to go, index highly on it for a year or two, go live the player life for, 1, 2, 3 years, get that out of your system. And then you can focus on the really important stuff. You can focus on your work, your art, your fitness, your goals, your legacy. Will you leave this earth having basically left nothing behind, having left no mark, just having been a fucking NPC, just walking through? Or will you leave this earth going, wow, I've really tasted the fruits. I've really left something behind of my essence, of myself, of my soul, whether that's in a creative work, whether that's, I don't know, in a business that you build, a foundation that you start, or just your family lineage. Yeah, it doesn't have to be some high level thing. Could actually just be something very routine, but something very sustaining and worthwhile. Okay, so who am I? I am Joseph. I'm a number of things. I'm a very hybrid person. I'm a business owner, an online business owner. I'm really an online contractor, but it is my own thing. I'm a multilingual, quadrilingual individual, and I've done lots of other things like sport. I was also a club promoter as well for 4 years. So I've done lots of things. I've had a diverse life. And now what I'm doing at 39 years old, I'm sharing this. I'm sharing these experiences that have often been pretty intense, and I'm sharing them with people so that they can now benefit. Valhalla. Yes, we have the Viking in the house. Richie, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, what do you think of the thumbnail? Do you like the thumbnail? So that's what I'm doing on this channel. I'm really sharing the juice of many years, because I know what it's like, right? I know what it's like to do everything you were told to do, to, go work hard, study really hard, go get your job, and yet you just feel that something within you is completely stunted. I know what that feeling is like. I fucking hated it. I absolutely fucking hated it. So I know what that feeling was like. And I probably would not have done all of the stuff that I did in my adult life had I not got a brutal wake-up call at 25, way earlier than actually was at 24, way earlier than most people do. Most people get it 40, 50. I got it at 24, which was not one, but 2 severe illnesses, very severe, which just effectively kept me semi in work, but I was out of work for a solid year. Yeah, and at 25, that feels like a fucking decade. But those 2 years, I mean, the brutality of those 2 years completely made me question everything. And then I came back out of that and I said, fuck me, I'm glad to be alive. I am not going down this fucking cocked route anymore. I'm going to fucking break out, whatever it takes, by any means necessary, even if it means I have to make sacrifices. I just want to live my authentic life. And it's been an amazing fucking journey. And now I'm sharing it with people, because if there's anything that you can take 1%, if if you can take 1% from one of these videos, makes your life 1% better, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Friday night, I should probably be in a fucking nightclub, but I'm here doing a live. I've been to enough fucking clubs. Yeah. I've been to enough clubs. I've had enough pleasure. It's about time I actually started helping other guys do the same thing. They can get their pleasure, then they can move on as well. So let's discuss the topics we've got. Ragav, hey, are you bald? Are you just trim? Ragav, brother. I don't even know where to start, mate. I don't even know where to start. This is actually a mask, right? I'm actually a blonde. Yeah. I'm actually a tanned blonde. Yeah. Believe it or not, I just put this mask on. I like the bald look. I think it's more masculine, mate. It's hair's for women. So, it's funny that Indian virgins always ask me about my hair. It's hilarious. Are you a virgin, Ragav? Yes. Sorry, bro, but if you're going to come at me, you don't know what you're dealing with here, brother. So let's start going through the topics, because we've already got 11 people in the chat. That's pretty cool. Yeah, cheers, bro. Thumbnail is cool. So let's start going through the topics. So I've already done the intro. Boys, if you're revving the engine when it comes to women, this is what my channel is all about. You've got to start going over. Follow the guidelines in some of my other videos. I've got a few videos that in the last couple of weeks, just go through those and you will find great structures for approaching. Okay, that is actually all you need technically on a technical level. Now, what you need now is the emotional fortitude, and you also need your wingmanship as well, which is where the wing bro comes in. So who am I talking to here? I'm actually talking to men. Actually, I was thinking about age group, probably 30s and 40s, guys who are trying to reboot, but actually also potentially guys in their 20s as well, guys who want to get into good habits young. Yeah, get on the right track young. Why not? It makes your life a lot better. So first of all, let's discuss the first topic of the day, which is, let me just check what I said to the entourage, because I've got it different on the list here. Yeah, so Ragav, just listen up, bruv. You know, that stuff like immature chat about being bald, you might learn some stuff, right? So watch the rest of my channel and listen to this live, and it probably will help you. I'm not saying that to be arrogant, but it's just true. So first of all, the different types of approach: cold approach, warm approach, social, and king mode. So cold approach is anytime, obviously, the girl has never seen you before. She's at a bus stop, she's walking down the street, she's in a club. Clubs are cold approach as well. Could even be at university. That could also be a cold approach as well. If the girl doesn't know you, it's a cold approach. So this is something the entourage boys don't need any introduction as to what this is all about. It's kind of my favorite type of approach. You just go in there as a marauding Viking, as a marauding caveman, and you present yourself. Hello, stop. Yeah, excuse me, you look amazing today. Blah, 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 blah. And you get things moving from there. And it's relatively straightforward. The difficult part is actually just going over to do it when you're new to it. Okay, it just takes a little while to get used to, but actually it's quite easy, and it's very normal as well, especially when you're with your mates as well. So is there anything I would add to the cold approach aspect? I think my only observation would be, having done it in many different contexts now, I've done cold approach in, I think, I don't know, about 7 or 8 different countries, 2 different hemispheres, you know, Western, Eastern Europe. If I add in nighttime approach, fuck knows, I don't even know how many countries have I had in nighttime approach, but a lot of different countries, and results will obviously vary depending on the territory. Some of these Slavic girls, it's quite funny. They're almost offended to be stopped, and then you compliment them and they can't help but like it. So in some cultures, there's more of a slight suspicion of strangers and men and stuff like that, but you can get through that. I'm in North Macedonia at the moment, and I think this is actually quite a slut-shaming culture, which is not very good for approach, because the women are much more concerned about being perceived to be a slut. But still, you can still make it happen. Of course you can. Maybe just taking things a little bit slower. I've got pretty good results, to be honest with you. in terms of approach, in terms of getting numbers and stuff like that, so that's Macedonia, but results will vary. Obviously, Turkey was not easy. I was there earlier this year. Yeah, so results will vary according to the culture. So that's daytime approach. Nighttime, there are more things to consider. There's a good concentration of women in nighttime approach, which I really like. It's also fun. I actually prefer nighttime. It's just more fun. But I just do daytime for balls maxing, as Richie says. So yeah, nighttime I actually find a lot more fun. But it's got to be the right venue. You got to be with the right people, and it's got to be the right night. The girls have got to be there as well. So there's a few things that are outside of your control, as there are in the daytime. But when it's on in nighttime, it's fucking unbelievable. And in my nights, it used to be fucking on. That was one of the main goals of my nights, was just like, let's just get the maximum quality of Batty in this room. And then the night, frankly, if you have a lot of hot women at a night, the night will take care of itself. You've got a good DJ and a lot of hot women, your night's going to take care of itself, right? So that's a formula. So that's why I was an all right promoter, because of that. Yeah, that's nighttime. Look forward to doing some nighttime in the non-disclosed location later this in about a month's time. That'd be fun. Solo nighttime could be quite tricky, especially if you're in a new city. It can vary. Like, I was in an Afrobeat club a few times in Belgrade, which, by the way, I'm going back to tomorrow. I was in an Afrobeat club a few times, and I actually found it quite difficult to get the night started. It's like fucking loud music, good night, but the way the club was constructed, everything was tables. There was no normal dance floor or anything like that. I was like, fuck, I couldn't even stand at the bar. I had to get my own solo table. So that was quite difficult. And then actually, thankfully, there was a group of guys from I think they. Oh, I don't know if they were East or West African. They looked West African, but I feel like they might have been East. But anyway, some guys from Africa on a table next to me, and then just started chatting to them. They were very pleasant with me, to be fair. Some good banter with them. They were flying into these Yugo girls. That was a whole different thing, and then ended up meeting these guys from fucking Cuba and Dominican Republic as normal. I always do, and then kind of had the rest of the night with them. So managed to get into the night through mixing it with other guys, and actually, it was a really good night. But solo can be difficult. Depends on the night. I've done well on solo nights, but that particular one, sometimes clubs, they're almost designed, and this is the opposite of my nights. Sometimes clubs are basically designed to make you, especially as men, feel as uncomfortable as possible, so you'll put money down and drink. That's literally how they're designed. Yeah. You want to go because you want to go to a night out, you want to meet new women, you want to mingle, so you want to go there, but then you fucking get there and they're literally designed to make you as uncomfortable as possible. Yeah. It's fucking horrific. So, yeah, and it works. Often it is very uncomfortable. So I always like to go to venues that I really enjoy. So yeah, if you get the right venue, it's fucking unbelievable. But yeah, they're very, people are cordoned off in their own little areas, and it can be a fucking nightmare. That's why you want a big group of nutters, and you just take over the whole thing. That's the way to go. So yeah, solo nighttime overall, you can always do it if needs must. Like, I'll be doing solo nighttime this month, as well as solo daytime. Needs must. Because I don't have too many boys. I've got friends in Belgrade, but I don't have really guys to go out with. So I just do solo. But really, you want to be with wings. RJ, yeah. You did feel uncomfortable when you arrived. Yeah. Where did you, just, I'll carry on my stuff, RJ, but just let me know in the chat, where did you go? What city were you in, and what venue did you go to? I'd be really interested to know. And what night was it as well? What kind of music? Because all the details are key. Yeah, solo for the true Vikings. Yeah, so this is the thing, actually. This is part of my new offer, to be honest with you, is my 1 month virtual wingmanship program. Yeah, Richie, if you're wanting to tomorrow, we might be able to do, if you needed to, we might be able to do a wing session, but I don't think you need to. It's in Shoreditch. Yeah. Which venue and what kind of music? I mean, that's the edgelord type place, isn't it? Yeah. But no, so this new service that I've got, which is 1 month of virtual wingmanship, part of that service will be at least two nighttime escapades where you're out and I literally wing you for about an hour to 90 minutes through a process. It probably not even gonna be that. Probably it might literally take 45 minutes, but up to 90 minutes of wingmanship. Because what can happen when you're out, you go into your own head. It's very difficult. But when you've got the wingman in the pocket, like Richie had the other week, yeah, we can even approach together. You can even call me. We can even just have some banter together as well. I know that works because I've done it with my friends when I've been in different countries, and I've always found I always pick up numbers when I'm literally on a call. So that's going to be part of the service. I'm pretty excited about it. Hoxton Pony, the music was funky house. Funky house. As in funky house as in Brazilian. Yeah. Yeah, so Richie's a fan of Shoreditch. So RJ and Richie, you actually might be able to connect up. There we go. This is the whole purpose here. Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a mix. Do you think it'd have been useful to have a wingman in your pocket, RJ, there? Someone you could text and go, bruv, I'm out. I'm fucked. And then your wingman goes, okay, dude, we're gonna do 3 approaches, then we're gonna fuck off home and have a kebab. Yeah, because it can be hard to get. It can be hard to get going. It can be hard to get going. I know this because I've pulled myself through so many solo sessions. I've forced myself through, but there's times where it's fucking difficult. It's fucking difficult. Yeah, so pocket wingman, exactly. So let's say you're out solo, Balthus. You're out solo. It's Friday night. You're out solo. The principle is going to be. Let me just briefly talk through the program. I'm not going to rant on about this because it's something that's going to be something in the future. We'll see if it works out or not. But this is the principle: is we do a month. The first Friday, basically, I just train you for about an hour. We just do an hour call. This is what you do, and we'll literally do a role play. Literally do a role play of different approaches. Right, so just get you used to actually doing the approach because you do need a little bit of technique, not that much, but a little bit. Also go over the right mindset as well. Then you straight out on day 1, you're into the streets and we just get things moving. Day 1, up to 4 weekends basically. And there'll be included in that, there'll be 2, potential for 2, but there should be at least 1 nighttime approach as well, nighttime approach session. So if you need it, it's there. Let's say you've been out with your mates 1 week, the next week you don't have anyone. Okay, you can still go out, you can hit it. And we synchronize watches. It's okay, 11:30 I'm going to be here. And I'll say, okay, I'll be on 11:30 till 12:30. What we're going to do, we'll get straight into the bar. Okay, go order your drink. Brilliant. Scan the room. What's going on? Tell me what's going on. Any girls around? Yes, there's 3 different groups. What about guys? Guys, okay. Make a quick connection with one of the guys. Say hello to one of the guys. What's going on? Long fucking week. Quick cheers to one of the guys. Go over, cheers the guy. Okay, fine. You've done a little bit of social warm-up. Go straight over to one of the girls. Yep. Compliment them. They're looking fucking amazing. Yeah, I'm here alone. Yeah, I'm a fucking lunatic. I'm waiting for my friends. Yeah. And so basically I talk you through this so that you're actually able to get out. You're able to get out basically. To get out of your head for at least an hour. One of the things that can happen when you're solo, you just start to go into yourself and you start to feel more and more self-conscious. You start to feel everyone's fucking looking at you like, oh, I bet he's a loser, isn't he? Because he's got no friends here. So that's one of the things that happens when you're solo. Whereas if you've got the wing in the pocket, you just go, okay, hello, bang, and we just do some exercises. And then you probably will be flying alone. So that's the principle of it. And we'll see. I know it works. I know for a fact it works because I've already done it myself. As in, I had my own virtual wingmen when I've been in different countries. I've also done it with Richie as well. So we know that it works. Let's move on now from that's club approach. Now let's just briefly talk about warm approach. Warm approach is this idea where the girl's already given you quote unquote choosing signals. She's already looked over at you. Maybe she's even come over you, maybe tapped you a little bit. I don't know. Um, Sinner, yes, brother. That will be a warm approach where the girl's eyed you up, right, and then you go over. Now, warm approach is not something to fall back on. Warm approach is actually passive. It's actually passive. You're actually waiting for the opportunity instead of going and creating the opportunity. So, by all means, do warm approach. Definitely do. Yeah, definitely do. But do not fucking rely on it. There's also something really weird that happens often with warm approaches. Like, you think the girl's going to be super receptive because she's been fucking staring at you for like 5 minutes. Sometimes they're not, and it can take you by surprise a little bit. So you almost have to be honest, treat a warm approach semi as a cold approach. With this one caveat is you can actually say, "Hey, I saw you glancing over at me." You know, something like that. I saw you glancing over at me. You must like, do you like my shirt or something? Yeah. Do you like my beard or something? Yeah. Bit of banter going on with the girl there. So you can just pass it off as her staring at you. Okay. You can kind of flip the tables on, switch the table on her, and turn the table on her rather, and that actually works quite a lot when you interpret what the girl is doing as flirting with you, especially in clubs. That's really good banter. I've actually got with a girl just from doing that. She was like one of these. She was one of the F1. You know those F1 girls used to go. She used to fucking go and do the flags and stuff like that. She's from Sheffield, and she was a fucking idiot. But she used to go and sleep with the fucking England footballers and stuff like that. And she came into the VIP once, and she was interested in a guy who was in my group who was like the cool guy, right? I was just there, just fucking being myself, and I just basically kept everything she said to me. I was like, you're such filth, like just the way you're throwing yourself at me, you dirty, dirty dog. And I was going so hard with this girl. She fucking loved it because she's used to this type of chat. Like she's, whatever, passed around half the fucking England team. But it was just quite funny because all I did the entire night, including when we went back to an after party, was misinterpret everything she said to me as her trying to seduce me. That's literally all I did the entire night. And then she pulled me in the end. She fucking came to bed with me. She had the most horrible straw. Those like really straightened hair. And you're thinking like, it looks really good on photos and stuff. And then you touch the hair, it's like fucking straw. Absolutely grim. Nothing before the conversation. I just think women, yeah, it's all imagined. Yeah, yeah. I just think women expect us just to get it on a deep subconscious level. It is what it is. You don't know what women expect, mate. You don't know what women expect. A lot of women don't expect that, actually. A lot of women just like, they do get it, like to come over and stuff like that. It's not always the easiest. They don't think, bro. A lot of these chicks are fucking NPCs. They don't have a thinking brain, yeah? And some of the ones that do are actually like, they kind of get it. Like, oh yeah, it's not necessarily that easy, but yeah, there's all sorts of reactions. And it isn't that, like, it doesn't need overthinking. So I wouldn't worry too much about what women's expectations are. A lot of times they're just having fun. They're not even thinking about getting approached on a night out. They know it's going to happen. They don't really overthink it. So that's warm approach. By all means do it. It's not something to necessarily fall back on. It's a good thing to do, like to eye women up in general, like lasciviously and filthily. It's a good thing to do. Be careful not to bottle eye contact, Richie. I know this is something Richie said to me the other week, which is like, he said he bottled eye contact, and I was like, what does that even mean? I don't even know what that is. Apparently it's where you break eye contact like too early or something, but it's classic. Yeah. But don't worry about bottling eye contact. Just make sure you get that next eye contact right. Yeah, they respond unconsciously. They don't give us a manual. Yeah, they don't need to, bro. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to help you. I agree with that. They're not going to help you pull them on the front end. But if you're actually starting to get with a girl, you can learn a lot from just probing them with questions. You can learn a lot. A lot of girls will tell you a lot of shit. So if you're getting with a girl, listen to what she fucking says. By the way, as well, you say that they don't give you a manual. Let's go into this a little bit more. You go in with a ballsy approach. You're really forward with the girl. You're being really sexual, and then you're saying sexual stuff as well. She likes you. She's giggling away, but you go a little bit too far. Yeah, you go a little bit too far. Often she'll kind of let you know. She'll kind of let you know. She'll give you some type of feedback, right? That'll be like, that wasn't great. That wasn't great. Adek, how are you, brother? So she'll give you some kind of feedback, and it's often quite subtle. So I won't say if you're actually sensitive to the signals, quite often they're doing little subtle things. Actually, yeah, I'm almost going to retract that statement that I made previously. They're often doing little subtle things to hope to let you know, okay, that was a bit much for me, and sometimes they might even tell you that, or they'll give you little subtle hints like about they'll just stick around you. They'll stick around. If a girl's giving you proximity in a venue, they're staying near to you and they're looking over a little bit. Yeah, that means you need to go approach them, bruv. So they do little things like that. They're quite good with subtle communication, which men obviously miss. I think they're solipsistic and totally unaware. At the same time, they know everything before we know. Yeah, I'd just be a little bit careful about saying women are this, that, and the other, because I've been so many different countries and women vary so much. Women vary so fucking much. They're mainly shaped by the men, by the way. It's men that shape the women. Yeah. The culture of how the men act and the men's expectations, that is what's going to shape them. So there's lots of women who react in different ways. Yeah, so anyway, so those are warm approaches. We've got social approaches. Social approaches should be a complete piece of piss, especially if you're into daytime and nighttime approach. However, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you're a bit more concerned about your reputation socially. It's a bit like making a speech in front of like 200 people is actually easier than making it in front of 12. Sometimes it can be, because it's like almost too intimate. So sometimes social can be, depending on the scenario, you can hesitate a little bit more. But again, the answer is just to go balls to the wall and laugh at yourself if it goes wrong. Yeah, that's still the answer is the same. Still the answer is the same. But I used to have a strong preference for cold approach, like day or night time. When I was in a social thing, I'd always overthink it a little bit. I was like, oh God, like she's really fucking hot, but I know all these people here, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, the opportunity is fucking gone. The girl's left. Other ways to get social is to be on a scene. So that was referring there to like a specific party, but is to be on a scene where you've got mates. If you're not a hyper sociable guy, which I'm actually not, despite how much socialization I've done, I'm actually not. What I do is I connect to people. And then they're proactive, and then they get me involved in something, and then I'll also connect us together as well. And when I am doing something, I'll bring people along as well. So I'm like a connection, right? I'm a connection point. So that's a very good thing to do, to be on some kind of a scene, and you analyze, okay, where do I like, and what scene do I like, what crowd do I like. That's quite easy in your 20s, to be honest. Like, you should be on a scene in your 20s, in my opinion. As you get into your 30s and 40s, I mean, I've been on scenes for all of my early 30s, and then my late 30s, it's been different because I've been traveling. So yeah, but that will be social approach. Being on a scene is always good. You can get a rep on a scene, and that actually is good for you, because then you get known as a shagger. A lot of times, guys don't realize, a lot of girls really just want to fuck. They might have just had a divorce. Why massively overthink talking to people? It's not massively overthinking. It's not talking to someone if your end goal is to sleep with a girl you've just seen 2 minutes ago, right? So it's not like it's not just talking. It's talking with intent to seduce. So it's a slightly different thing. So yeah, and the more you like the girl, and then the more you care about other people's opinion of you and stuff like that, it can affect people, basically. But yeah, I mean, if you don't overthink it, Mike, Then don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. But some people do. Some people do. Anything else on warm approach? Oh, sorry, social approach. Yeah, being on a scene is always good. Find a scene that you like. Cold approach really massively enhances your social skills. So I find like now, because I've done so much cold approach, if I'm going out talking to people like on a fucking babes on a Saturday afternoon, when I'm actually just in like cafes and stuff like that, I find it quite easy to get along with people and make connections and stuff. Like here in Macedonia, I've actually got like a guy he said to me yesterday, he goes like, dude, I'm going to miss you when you go. I've only been here 5 weeks, but it's the owner of a coffee shop I go to every day. And I get on like a house on fire with this guy. I've also got a potential business partner here as well. So, and this is just from being conversational, being talkative, being proactive. In Bosnia, obviously, I've got the great and noble SB. I don't know if he's on tonight or not, but you know that was actually from this channel. But then we met up. Didn't have so many connections actually in Sarajevo. I never quite cracked. No, never quite cracked it there. Belgrade, I definitely did though. Got some really good connections in Belgrade, some Latin guys, and then also some Ruskis as well in Belgrade. So everywhere you go, this is a general point, not related to approach. Everywhere you go, if you're a nomad, you want to have people who miss you. You want to have people who you keep in touch with and they can't wait to see you again if they're still there. Yeah, this is actually like, if you're leaving places and nobody misses you, or nobody's like, I can't wait till you come back, you know, then it's kind of, that's not ideal. Like in Brazil, I've got people who are going to be literally like jumping on me, like kissing me and stuff when I go back. They are similar. Lisbon, similar. Yeah, UK, obviously. Romania, definitely. Greece, definitely. Yeah, and the other ones I've just mentioned as well. So when you travel, that's always like, it's great to make these connections, and who knows where it ends going forward, you know. RJ, I definitely try and speak to men in the day as well, not just women. Even the old man next to me in the tube, not just women on the day. It's good to connect with all people around you. Exactly. Yeah. But specifically, if you can actually identify the person I'm talking to who is the connector, they actually create value within a sphere and within a place, and maybe within like whatever it is, especially like at uni, but even later on as well. There's people who their entire value is their connections. So for example, if a guy, there are people who, for example, who's like the guy he's the head of the Chamber of Commerce, or he's the head of this networking company, yeah, of this networking thing, and it's like 200 quid a year, 1,000 quid a year, whatever it is. They're good people to connect to, yeah, because their whole value in the world is their connections. So they're really good people to connect to. Not cold approaching and talking to strangers is a symptom of pathological society. We're healing ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. Agree. Countries where talking to strangers is normal, I've noticed they're much more psychologically healthy. Much more. The Balkanoids are a different bunch. They're not so, yeah, they're very reserved, but if you do talk to them, actually, they're really nice. So it's an interesting one. They're kind of like, it's just interesting. It's interesting. I like the people out here. So that was social, and then we've also got God tier approach as well. God mode, king mode, right? I shouldn't blaspheme. King mode, king approach. That's where you're approaching in a time or a sphere where you've already actually got like a fuckload of value. You're actually the king of that environment. You're the king of that environment. So let's say, the big dog personal trainer at the gym who's like, he knows everybody. He's absolutely fucking shredded. You know, he's got a little personal trainer thing going on. He's flirting with all the girls. He's probably banging a few of the MILFs. You know, imagine that guy, Wayne, who's Christian's friend, Wayne. Yeah, someone like that. Or, for example, one of the connector type people I've already mentioned. Or it's your party. And this is the advantage of being the center of the party. So Richie, my brother, you've got the premises to have these little gatherings, especially in a certain new city. Yeah. So when all of that is sorted, but even where you're at currently, if you're throwing the party, you are the default king. You're the default king. You're just throwing the party. You don't need to do anything. You're already the guy. You're already the guy. So you don't even need to do anything. So if you're throwing an event, you are approaching on a kind of king mode. And so I experienced this as a promoter. And I specifically, that was one of my, there was, several motivations. That was one of my motivations. That I just want to be able to go up to everyone with these are my events. And everything is a warm approach. And then I just create this massive, vast social network just from these events. So I connected into the connectors, put the events on, and then boom, I've got 100 people that I know. I've got 100 new people I know of. There's attractive girls, there's leads, there's all of that going on. And that was like throwing a party, that was like taking it to a completely different level. What do you vaguely do for a living? I work online. That's what I do for a living. Yeah. I work online on Silk Road. So that's like approaching on king mode. So yeah, if you can, you were organizing events in Amsterdam. Yeah, so if you can rejig that, Richie, maybe with a bit of your new skills, your new iceberg slim mentality, could be a nice little angle for you. And you know what? That's a good thing to do even once that's actually an even better thing to do once you've got a girlfriend. That's when you really should be doing it, once you've got a girlfriend, because you're not going to be going out like trying to like every single weekend approaching to the same extent. You'll want to, well, you might be, but you still want to do like, okay, let's do some events now. Now I've got my girl and I can fucking show her off, So that's also a thing to do once you've got a girlfriend. Continue doing it. And then you just meet even more people, create great memories, so that's, and if you're working a lot, like you might have a girl who's quite sociable and you might be able to leverage her a little bit as well. So yeah, that's approaching on king mode. Those are the 3 ways to approach. Do all of them. I've done literally all of those at different times. And obviously I'm not going to be approaching in king mode on my first day coming into North Macedonia. So cold approach is the way to go. But when I was back in the UK, then it made sense to, I was doing events and things, it made sense. Have I read Iceberg Slim's book? Yeah, I've read it. Yeah, it's a good book. There's a lot of truth in that book. There's a lot of truth that people don't want to look at. Obviously, it's a bit more extreme. It is a lot more extreme, actually, but there's a lot of truth in it people don't really want to look at. Next up, we're going to talk about here freedom from friends and family. Yeah. So yeah, the last thing. So yeah, freedom from friends and family. So cold approach is a balls maxing exercise. Daytime approach, you run after the girl at the bus stop, bang, you go after her. It's a balls maxing thing, right? It's one of the greatest phrases ever fucking coined, by Richie. It's a balls maxing thing, right? And it's normal as well, but some of the approaches are genuinely like quite ballsy when you're running down like after fucking, you're approaching in front of 50 Serbian football hooligans or something like that. So some of them are a bit more ballsy, but overall, over a 1 year span, over a 2 year span, you get used to doing daytime fucking approach, and it's just normal to you, just fucking chilling. You just eat it, right? That sets you free. And that's the biggest benefit for me for daytime approach. It set me free from my own bullshit. Set me free from society's bullshit. Boy see girl, boy go girl. I won't say I'm always on that, but in most of the time I am. Genuinely most of the time I am. And especially now, like the streets are like now, it's gone from like the opposite, where the streets was a place I could not imagine approaching. The streets are now my favorite place to approach. I was in the gym earlier on, and I just like this. The Serbian fucking gym culture is not particularly flirty at all. There are some attractive girls there, But yeah, the way I work out, I just can't. It's a combination of like the way the actual gym is and the way I fucking work out is sick, dude. It's actually sick. Um, so I don't actually want to talk to anybody. I'm just like, if you saw my face, I look like a complete psychopath. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not smiling at all. I'm going into the deep, dark dungeons of suffering. And I just want to be there alone, basically. And then, like, when to even think about talking to women and stuff, it's quite difficult. I do stare at them, but like in a primal, you know, fucking saber-toothed tiger-like way. I do admire guys who can just cruise into gyms and do a little bit of approach, do a few bench press, and just be the true gym bros. I'm a wing bro, but I'm not a gym bro, to be honest. Like when I'm in, I'm just, I need to train like as hard as I fucking can. And so, yeah, that's not really, um, it's not really my venue, but just, yeah, the freedom that cold approach has given me is fucking tremendous, dude. Tremendous. But there is something here which is guilt. Guilt. Do you feel guilty for the newfound freedom that you've got, like with your family and stuff like that? Do you actually feel guilty for that? Because I sometimes get a weird thing where I'm like, if I'm with like, you know, I feel guilty for approaching in front of like my sister or my mum or something or my dad or someone like that. Not my brother. My brother would fucking love it. But do you know what I mean? Like some old friends and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, I didn't. When I was in Istanbul, I don't think I did any approaches in front of my mum. Bless her. I don't know if I've approached in front of my mum. Probably. I probably have, to be fair, at some point. But yeah, do you feel a little bit of guilt for that newfound freedom? You know, there's the UK is a big crabs in the bucket society where everyone's looking around. Okay, what's the right thing to do? Oh, I did a bit too much. Oh, I did the wrong thing, and everyone's fucking. It's pure beta male garbage, to be honest with you. Um, RJ, I feel as though I'm going against social norms. The NPCs are staring at you. Yeah, I mean, UK is absolute beta male NPC society. You know, everyone, if anyone watches this channel, they know my fucking thought on it. At this point, I want it for the mindset and freedom. It's priceless. Yeah, yeah, Balthus, I'm exactly the same as you, mate. Exactly the same. And you're just seeing the benefits in every other area of your life, like, you know, yeah, to the point you can actually get away with, like, once you've done it enough, you can get away with taking a month or two off because it's just like, I know I can fucking do it. I've got the ball sack to do it. I'll go out again and do it, and it'll be fine. The guilt that comes from it. I didn't approach a posh coffee shop. The guys looked at me as if I committed a horrible atrocity. Yeah, dude, British guys are fucking fags, dude. I can't fucking stand them, to be honest with you. Can't fucking stand them. I genuinely, I will die with a different passport other than a British passport. I may not be able to get it right away. I'm not gonna fucking die with a British passport. I know Richie loves it, but it's a fucking cocked society, man. Absolutely fucking cocked. It's had such a brutal regime, the UK. There's no country which has had a more brutal, like, basically, you've had no real rebellions in the UK for like 500 years. So it's just because the top-down control has been constant and brutal, immolating the population. So yeah, so these like idiots who, like, you know, if I see a guy cold approach, I'll be like, nice one, you know. I wouldn't like be a little bitch about it, but yeah, it's fine. They're just bitches, mate. The UK is full of bitches. Most of the guys who comment on my channel who are real resentful losers, they're almost all English, to be honest with you. Like, it's such a crabs in a bucket fucking society. So it just is what it is. I don't know why people are just resentful losers, man. Have I ever been to Tbilisi? The women look very interesting. The culture seems attractive. Yeah, Richie's finding it okay. Yeah, I mean, for the women, mate, you know what? In the UK, the women are good. The women are actually quite good. The women love the approach. The women love it. It's the men. It's the men are the fucking losers in the UK for the most part. Seriously. But yeah, the guys I roll with in the UK, they're all absolute fucking, they're all animals, and they don't tolerate any of the nonsense either. I'm the least animal of my friends in the UK. The least. Yeah. So, yeah, I cultivate like a certain group, and that's it. I'm not interested in the fucking losers at all. I've never been to Georgia. I haven't been. No. Um, I would actually quite like to. I really want to stay in a There's like this like monastery basically in Georgia. I'd quite like to stay in. UK it happened to you in the streets, which is rare. Yeah, yeah, it's happened to me in the streets as well in the UK, but I just notice it when I come back. Like Dominican Republic, approaching the street, no one gives a fuck. Brazil, no one gives a fuck. Even the fucking Balkans, no one gives a fuck. The guys just look at you like, the fuck is that? They won't think anything of it. British people are fucking worms. They're all invested in each other's behaviour. I can't fucking stand them. So yeah, that's why I don't fucking live there. Um, yeah, it's like it's a place where you can find absolute like proper gems. Like maybe 10% of the country are like actual really fucking gems. But then you've got like 90% of fucking cocks. Netherlands are worse. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sure, I can believe it. Yeah. I've not had the pleasure. It's funny because my mate here, one of my mates here is from the Netherlands, and he fucking hated he hates the Netherlands, which is why he lives in Macedonia. Yeah, yeah. The UK, mate. I wouldn't say comparing it to the Netherlands is a very good comparison. It's one of the most cut countries in the world in terms of the guys. I like, you know it is, bruv. You know it is. Um, they're like some of the worst seducers like in the world, basically. Yeah. So if you wanted to be, it's just a very resentful culture. That's what I would say about the UK. So whether you've got money, they'll resent you. I think you don't know enough guys yet, to be honest with you. Guys in the entourage like Christian and me, and like who else have we got in the British guys? Sinner. These are not even close to your average guys. You know, um, ID occulta. Yeah. So the worst I've had in London was a guy trying to stab me. Yeah. Yeah, I'd actually prefer a guy threatening to stab me. I'd actually prefer that. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. It's like it's his girl, that's his territory. I don't actually mind that. Um, yeah. Are you doing something a little bit wrong though, RJ? Because it shouldn't happen that much. It shouldn't happen that much. Are you, for example, like are you badly dressed or something? Is there anything like are you not presentable to where people go? Because there's a guy on my channel that he was talking about how he got he'd often get girls coming over saying guys coming over saying to the girl, "Are you all right?" Which that shouldn't happen. That really shouldn't happen. That would indicate that that guy has got several, at least one or two blind spots where he doesn't know how he's coming across. Um, Banned from a bar from asking someone when they started transitioning. Yeah, it's pretty minor, isn't it? Yeah, it's good banter though. It's good banter on here tonight, boys. The ID oculta, tá bom. Yeah. Yeah, I mean the peasantry and scum in the UK these days. There's a fucking 15-year-old got stabbed in Sheffield this week. It's fucking disgusting. Anyway, in school as well. Other fucking kids saw it in the canteen. There you go. Brilliant. What a fucking country. I'll fucking die in El Salvador. Postcode Jimmy's. A lot of the girls, a lot of the girls hate the guys in the UK. Genuinely, a lot of the girls do. A lot of the girls do. I've been with a lot of girls, including British girls, who are like, I can't stand these whiny little bitch men in the UK. And this is English girls as well. And girls who've said to me, like, they prefer to be with an alpha male who literally cheats on them than with these whiny little bitches. Yeah. They've literally told me this, right? Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. But the girls in the UK are actually all right overall. I think London is probably, in my opinion, not that great. If I'm being honest, I don't think it's great. But I think, well, for my taste, the North is good. So yeah, so we're talking about freedom, and I think that does relate to the country that you're in. Some countries are very free, and some are not as free. What we're going to do? We're not going to change the world. The world's not going to change for us. I've just made my feelings perfectly clear. Yeah, there's fucking no hiding here. I think there's almost there is an element of resentment in me because it's like, having encountered this so much in my life, there is an element of hatred, which is why I'm very brutal with like people who try and, you know, be cunts with me. I'm very brutal with them. I'll shoot them right fucking back. So yeah, I'm not into it. The last thing I'm going to say on freedom, with your friends, with your family, do what you want to fucking do. And what you'll find is a lot of times there might be a bit of resistance or they might not understand it, but a lot of times they'll watch you and they'll get on board later on. They'll actually then want to come and join you. And that's what my like very cool friends have started to do. Like one of my friends started to do cold approach. One of my friends started to also do salsa and stuff. Like he was a Sheffield guy. And so like they see you do something, you go out ahead, you show them the way, you show them the ropes, you be the example. And very often people will they'll follow suit, you know, and that's what I did with Christian. I saw him going out into the street like a maniac, and I was like, I want to follow that guy. I want to fucking do what he's doing. How do I get his number? You know. So yeah, that's the last thing on freedom. You go and be the freest person you can be, however you want to do it, and a lot of people will follow you, man. A lot of people will follow you. Isn't branding yourself as an alpha, bruv? Get the fuck off my channel, dude. You're fucking annoying me now. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna block you. Fucking irritating fucking questions. Bye, bruv. Goodbye. You just ask stupid questions. Sorry. This guy's asked a lot of stupid questions on different lives. Like, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. Like, if you don't know what cold approach is, you don't know what the male space is, why the fuck you on this channel, dude? Sorry, dude. Let's have a look. Do I brand myself as an alpha? I don't think I fucking do, to be honest with you. Branding yourself as resentful little English cunt. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. I'm really selling my gentle coaching abilities here, aren't I? Okay, so RJ, I had to drop one of my best mates because he felt jealous I was cold approaching and meeting women. He was a good-looking guy, but he had no experience because he never gave himself permission to speak with women. You see, and this is where my disdain comes in. This is where my disdain comes in. I thought I'd remove this guy. This is where my disdain comes in. Because people who don't have the ability, don't have the balls, yeah, I don't mind. I think he's just on the wrong channel. I don't know what the guy's on this channel for. But anyway, it's no big deal. People who don't have the balls and they don't have the ability, and then they see someone who does, instead of taking that on the chin and going, at least let me copy him. Let me just try doing what he's doing. Or asking you, dude, like, how the fuck are you doing this, dude? I mean, there's a lot of pride with men. We don't want to ask each other. But at the very least, I would observe. I wouldn't necessarily even ask. I would just observe friends doing what they were doing and try and figure it out. I've actually seen guys doing the same with me. I've seen one guy he was a psychology professor, a young psychology. He actually fucking observed me. I know that he did. He observed me in some dance nights and stuff, like how I was interacting, because I like to have a lot of fun. On these lives, I'm quite intense and I'm quite serious in my videos. But if you actually see me in the normal life, like Richie knows, like I like to just have fun. I'm just pissing around, basically. Yeah, I'm in like task focus mode here, but I'm mostly pissing around. And this guy, he copied the things that I did, and I saw him do it, and I didn't mind at all. I was like, that's kind of flattering in a way. So like, this is it. So a guy who sees you doing well, he should be attempting to emulate you, should be trying to learn a bit of your magic. But no, what does he do? He gets resentful. Yeah, so RJ, it's a shame. There's a lot of guys in the entourage say it's hard to find good wings. It's okay to be starting. Yeah, exactly. It's fine to be nervous. It just is what it is. Everyone is on their own fucking journey. And this is the thing, that I always respect people just going for it, just doing the right thing, even if they are a fucking wreck. I mean, if they're not, brilliant, even better. If they just completely dominate, well, that's superb. But I almost admire the underdog more. Maybe that is my English mentality. But the guy who seems to have it all against him and he fucking goes out anyway and then he succeeds. For me, that just like that gives me chills. That gives me chills. Um, okay, no, Mike, I thought I'd kicked you out. Anyway, you did not offend me, dude. You didn't. I just assumed you were on the wrong live because you're asked a lot. This live is about cold approach, women, and that type of thing. If you look at my channel, it's about relationships, cold approach, and like a lot of like things like shooting and traveling and stuff like this. Yeah, that is what it is. That is what it is. Um. Anyway, so yeah, it's the guys I actually admire, the guys who just go after it anyway. Like, so yeah, and there's all sorts in the entourage. There's guys who've got all sorts of issues and histories going on, and I just fucking love seeing everyone just get after it. And then some guys are just like they've got all the advantages because they've got themselves to a position, and then there's other guys where they've had to really fucking work at it. I just admire all of it. Um, yeah, yeah, Richie. I understand, brother. I understand. Mm. We haven't winged. We haven't like. We've only been on one session. Well, we've been on a nighttime wing session. No, and in fact, to be honest, Richie, we've probably winged each other. When I think about it, more in the entourage in sessions. Probably me and you have winged each other. Probably more than anyone else, apart from you. Probably done it with Christian as well. But like we've winged on quite a few daytime sessions. We've winged on a nighttime session. We weren't really winging in Manchester as such. It was more like you were still training and I was just fucking around. But yeah, yeah, I could foresee some serious wingmanship. I actually would like to take a trip to Valhalla. I thought about it. I definitely would enjoy that. I think it would be fucking disgusting, mate. To be honest with you. What I love about you, basically just you, Richie, is like you do have a lot of negative like thoughts and stuff like that. Fine, you already know that, but which you obviously worked on. But what I fucking love about you is, bruv, you are a motor. You're literally like a dynamo. You're just a complete motor. So that's why, September, October, it was like having a motor in the entourage, and that was great for personally for me. That was great because I felt like I'd done a solid year of approach already, and I was like, I'm almost ready just to fucking chill. And then I saw you going, and it just got me going. I was like, man, this guy's he's pushing in like 20 approaches a fucking day, like minimum on a fucking Tuesday. Absolute monster. Um, yeah, okay, so let's have a look here. So status anxiety. Alan Boton has a book on status anxiety. Something's off with him though. Have you alluded to Joseph? That's how you got to my channel, isn't it? RJ. I commented on a different channel. Maybe I should do that more to try and get a few more people through the doors. But yeah, Alan de Botton, I think is a cock. I think his philosophy espouses weakness and just loose uselessness. I just think he's a bullshit thinker. I think he's a complete bullshit thinker. Yeah, okay, he's a smart guy. He looks like, I don't know, he is intelligent. He must, by definition, make some good points, but I think he's a cock. I think he's a fucking cock. And I think most of his stuff, especially as it comes to relationships, he talks about love and stuff. It's like, bruv, maybe read a book on evolutionary biology if you're going to go down the intellectual route. Like, you're not even talking about evolutionary biology here. You've got to. So yeah, once you're in the zone, you just go into selling books about love makes money. Yeah, bullshit books on like. Let me just pull up his titles on love. This is what I love about these live shows, like the shit we talk about. So Alain de Botton on love. If you followed his strategy, I mean, just look. Does he look like a guy who's like had much? Does he look like a guy that women like, masturbate over, like Alain de Botton? I'm not. I mean, not just his looks, but his demeanor and whatever. He's a fucking cock. Okay. Apparently, his dad was really disappointed in him as well. His dad was like some absolute G, and he was like, "So Alan, what are you gonna do?" He's like, "I'm gonna write books about love." Let's have a look here. On love. The longing for destiny is nowhere stronger than in our romantic lives. We are told at the outset of the book on de Botton's book on love, a hip, charming, and devastatingly witty rumination on the thrills and pitfalls of romantic love. The narrator is smitten by Chloe on a Paris-London flight. By the time they reach the luggage carousal, he knows he's in love. He loves her chestnut hair, pale nape, and watery green eyes, the way he drives a car and eats Chinese food. The gap makes her teeth a Kantian and not platonic. Her views on Heidegger's being and time, although he hates her taste in shoes. I mean, what kind of cockery is this? I mean, it's just a fucking joke, isn't it? I mean, he's simping over a chick because she likes fucking Heidegger. Give me a fucking break. Oh my God. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like being in love. There really isn't. But like, I guarantee that chick I guarantee that chick fucking left him. I guarantee it. Oh yeah, he's not going to struggle. Alan's not going to struggle. Yeah, because he's a big famous author. Yeah, there'll be like PhD girls who want to suck his fucking weird fucking dick. Yeah. Chloe from Greg's. Yeah, the real badskis, you know, the real full-bodied girls. They're not giving it up to Alan. But yeah, you're right about that, RJ. He will because of his notoriety. Yeah. Essays on love. What a fucking cock. Sex, shopping, and the novel. Yeah. I think it's pure cockery, dude. I think it's pure cockery. It's just not applicable to most men in the real world at all. And yeah, I will say though, on love, before I move on to the next topic, this is a real medley show tonight. I will say on love, being a quote unquote seducer, fucking approacher, being a guy who gets after it in life, being a fucking guy who goes to the gym, guy who does boxing, guy who's got a fucking tattoo on his forehead. None of that, no matter how many girls you've been with, none of that is going to make you proof for love, for feeling love. Yeah, that doesn't make you a simp. That doesn't make you a simp. If you're with someone for like years on end and you fall in love with that person. Yeah, because they insinuate themselves into your life over time. Yeah, you will get the same fucking heartbreaks, and you get, the more experience you get, the worse heartbreaks are. Yeah, by the way. So if you think like all this bullshit about like, people like fucking Tate, who's like, oh yeah, if I just have 10 girlfriends, if one leaves me, I'll just fucking replace her. Bruv, that's just retard shit. You can't replace everyone, dude. It's not like for like. Yeah, there are some people you meet who are just categorically miles ahead of anyone else. Not necessarily in any objective sense, but in the sense that like they're objectively good, but like the way they meet your psychology, it's like this person just met my psychology in a way I can't even describe. I've had that with 3 women, all from the same fucking city as well. And it's like, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy to experience. Yeah, one of the girls in the video I just published today. She's well, it's fucking obvious which one it is, to be honest with you. You're never bulletproof, man. You're never fucking bulletproof, no matter how much you masculine improve and no matter how many women you fucked. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. There's girls I've been with, not the one in the video, but there's girls I've been with before that. There's one girl I was with before that. I fucking had this whole scenario with her, this complete drama breakup. She never fucking drama breakup, like ridiculous, like telenovela type breakup. Basically, I'm out with this girl, with a different girl. This girl I was seeing, who I really liked. Now, I was in love with her. She was such a good person. She was in the park one day. I walk into the park, sit down with the girl I'm with, who is also fucking incredible. And then I see the other girl on a bench like 20 meters away. She sees us. She storms past me. She's in tears. She'd just been to the theater because she had like a really nice dress on. You can imagine, it's like a telenovela, man. It's like a telenovela. I thought about that girl every fucking day. I don't know how long for. at least 18 months, I thought about her every fucking day. Every day. This is how embarrassing this is. She wouldn't message me, right? I couldn't even get an apology to her. I couldn't even say anything to her. She just messaged me once and that was it. Never spoke to me again. I even posted a fucking note through her door just to try to communicate. Yeah. So anyway, whatever. So yeah, but maybe that was simpy behavior, but it's like, I don't give a shit. I've never done that for anyone else. Like, she was a special fucking person who I mistreated because I was a complete cunt. So there you go. You get what you deserve, Joseph. Um, yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. But it is what it is. There's no getting around it when it happens, and you should be thankful for those experiences. I'm thankful for those experiences. Like, I actually am. Like, wow, I actually experienced that. I actually experienced something real. Like, it wasn't an immature bullshit like the previous stuff was. Like, that was actually real, man. That was fucking real. So yeah, so that's the angle on love. Doesn't mean you're a cock or anything. So the woman I ended up having a kid with, from the moment I met her, I already knew we'd have another relationship with her. I never thought it before the woman. Yeah. I would not. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there are these special moments. There are these special people. I had that with a girl I was seeing last year. The moment with the last three girls that I've been with, the second I saw them, I knew there was something major at hand, and I don't get that very often. Very very rarely I get that. Maybe like there's sometimes a girl looks at you straight away. She fucking is attracted to you. But when there's a vibe between you from the beginning, it's a pretty special thing. And it's a special thing. A deep connection with a woman is a beautiful thing, yeah. The issue I'm having at the moment, full disclosure on this, because of my lifestyle at the moment, which I literally adore my lifestyle even more than any woman. It makes it really fucking difficult to maintain something. If the girl's got any insecurities at all, they're going to come right to the fucking surface. Yeah. I had this when I went to Brazil last year. I broke up with a girl who she was really the love of my life, to be honest. So I've been doing all the cold approach anyway. It's just for my own development. But I broke up with a girl who I'd been kind of off and on with for like 2-3 years, mostly on, to be honest. Like, we'd had this crazy romance, man, like literally crazy, like multiple countries, flying to different places and stuff. Like totally unexpected, like against all the odds as well, like ridiculous odds. I think when you have barriers in your way, it does make you want to leap those barriers even more with that person. But yeah, I went out to Brazil. It was a unique opportunity. I may never go back. I don't know. Hopefully I will, but I may never go back. I had 3 months out there, and I knew I was going to be on this whole fucking mission. And the girl just couldn't fucking take it. She couldn't fucking take it. She was calling me, and then I'd speak to her. I was like, okay, I'll speak to her this evening. Like, let me put an hour in with her, make her feel better, and then I'll have a couple of days to myself. Then I'll call her on Friday, and then it would be like the next day, wanting the same amount of attention, as if we hadn't spoken the day before. And like, that's on me to set the expectations, to be honest. But I don't know. I sacked it off. Yeah, because I thought I'm in this unique period of my life, and this girl does not know how to behave. And then she was heartbroken, and I'm fucking heartbroken. The whole thing was just fucking shit, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that's the life I'm living at the moment. I can't. It's taken me so long to get this life, so fucking long. I just can't let it go. I've got to keep doing it. Telenovela gives me the chills. Reminds me of a similar experience. The player experiment can go too far at points. They'll have flashbacks after more than 2 years. Yeah, we'll have to talk about this. We should do a live at some point, because you've got a lot of experiences which are quite similar to mine. I think you have the similar type of thing where you like the playboy lifestyle, but you also like the romantic lifestyle as well. And I'm somewhat similar at times. Yeah, that can get you into a lot of trouble. That actually can get you into way more trouble than just being a shagger, because the shaggers, the girl kind of knows where they stand. And like, when you just want to shag a girl, she knows where she stands. But when there's the whole when you got all that shit mixed in as well, yeah, it can cause drama. This is why, genuinely, this year, I'm actually taking a step back. Like, I'm doing fuckloads of approach and I'm doing loads of getting loads of numbers. I'm 90%, I'm not even messaging. I'm just literally doing it so I can train other guys eventually. But yeah, just having like a few dates here and there. And I'm just like, man, I have had so many scenarios of chaos in my personal life, which is like, I've created almost intentionally. Well, no, not almost, completely intentionally. It's like, man, I need to take a break from it. I need to take a break from it. Yeah, so this year is kind of like a semi-break. But yeah, still going out and doing the approach. So that was all freedom. That was all about freedom. It's a little bit of a digression there, but it's good interactions. Cold approach is freedom, boys. It fucking gives you that personal sovereignty and that personal freedom. If you've never done it before, and if you don't need it, you don't need it. But I think a lot of people could fucking do with it. So let's have a look at the next topic. Where were we? Freedom and friends and family. Scheduling, dating, and approach for ambitious men. Yeah, I think you like this, boys. If you are still on. Scheduling, approach, and dating. So I'll give you my schedule last year, which worked really well for me. Work really fucking hard from Monday to Friday. And it may be a little bit on Sunday, probably not on Saturday, to be honest with you, but maybe a little bit on Sunday. Work really hard on those days. Go out and do a big approach session every Saturday without fail. Every fucking Saturday. This was in my drive phase. Meet up with one of the girls on a Sunday, basically shag on a Sunday. That's basically it. So work all week, approach on a Saturday, shag on a Sunday. There you go. That's a sustainable schedule for a freelancer. So I would say that's a fairly busy lifestyle that I've got. It's a sustainable schedule. Sometimes go out on a midweek date as like a date with a new girl on a midweek. Do that quite often as well. Maybe Friday night as well. So I think that's a sustainable schedule. See someone on a Sunday, go and approach on a Saturday. And you don't need to do like 10 hours of approach. You can just do an hour or two on a Saturday. Bang, do a couple. Approach is better during the week. Yeah, that's so interesting. I probably agree with you, Richie. I probably agree with you. For me, though, it's just actually making it happen during the week, like with my current schedule. Yeah, with my current schedule. But I actually probably agree with you there. I found like going back to work after doing a big approach session, I'm like, man, now I've got to go into 4 or 5 hours of total fucking boredom where I've got to pretend I'm interested for 4 hours. And I'm like, oh my God, to actually do that after doing an approach session is quite, sometimes I'm very dynamic, but then other times it's like, fucking hell, this is harder. I'd almost rather, like be bored in the day and then look forward to work. Yeah, Saturday is okay. Approach is better during the week. Saturday, everyone has plans already. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I agree. I wouldn't overthink that though. I wouldn't overthink that. I do agree to an extent, but I wouldn't overthink that. You can fucking pull plenty of girls on a Saturday afternoon. It's no big deal. I probably would agree though. I think actually a weekday is better. You're right. You're right. Maybe you should do it. Maybe I should experiment with my schedule this coming month. Yeah, it's a real aristocrat move, isn't it? Just going out doing cold approach on like a fucking Thursday afternoon, just like, yeah. If I knew I had that money coming in that I'm earning now, and I knew it was coming in regardless, or I'd already made like way more cash, then fine, fucking go and approach midweek, but needs must. Yeah, I agree. I actually did an approach today, which is the first I hardly approach in a week at the moment. I would approach when I was in Latin America. I would go and approach after work. I'd approach from let's say 6 to about 7:30 or 6 to 8. I love those sessions. They were some of my best sessions because I just walk around. I wouldn't even have an approach in mind. I just walk around, just talk to whoever I wanted to. That was fucking amazing. That was really good. That was really good. I had this little street. I call it my kill zone. I would just fucking pick up so many girls on the street. But then it became then it became a kill zone for me because I get girls like messaging me, like showing me a photo of myself walking along with another girl or something. And so they get jealous and pissed off after like one date. It's crazy, but yeah. So scheduling, yeah, but that was my schedule, and I would say it's still effective, right? Don't let like perfection get in the way of good. You know, going out on a Saturday, shagging on a Sunday, working all week. Yes, that might be a peasant routine for the common folk, but it's still better than nothing. It's still better than nothing. Like and I think it's a good balanced routine. Yeah, if you got private income, you've done all your business stuff, then you can just do whatever the fuck you want. Fine. Or you've got something where, let's say you're working events, you're working at like weekends, like Thursday to Sunday. You yeah, yeah. If you want it, you make it work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can make it work on a Saturday. Like if your approach is solid, the girls, could well be interested. It's also worth going out like little midweek things as well, just taking advantage of using daytime approach as basically like trend. Basically now I go out and I'm like, I feel like I'm on trend because I can do this shit in the day, yeah, in a fucking mall in the Balkans. So I'm in a club in fucking Manchester, England, and I see all the little hesitant little pussies there. Just get out of my way, bruv. Just move, yeah. She's mine, and that's it. So you should still approach anyway, because it's like trend for your social skills and your social confidence. So yeah, so that's my scheduling angle. Depending on where you are in life, I'm at a phase now where I've got so many things going on that to be dedicating to, I want to dedicate the minimum amount of time to women possible because I want to dedicate that time to doing other things. So, like, for example, tonight I would probably normally be out on a Friday, but I want to do a live. Yeah, and I prepared a thumbnail, prepared some topics. I'm fucking packing my bags. I'm going to Serbia tomorrow. So, like, I'm doing videos in the week. I'm working constantly. I've just finished my book. I'm trying to learn fucking Serbo-Croat. I've got a lot of shit I'm doing on a relentless basis, right? I'm going shooting as well midweek, got a little shooting as well. So I want to dedicate the minimum amount of time possible. So that's why at the moment I actually enjoy a Saturday session. Go out 2 hours, probably it's probably more like two actually, more 2, 3 because I take it quite slow. Just like bang, bang, bang. Right, done. Saturday done. And it's part of the routine. Yeah, it may not be perfect. Maybe Tuesday's better, whatever, but it's fine. It's more than fine. It's more than fine. If you're in the right vibe and that environment, the surrounding pacification becomes really clear. Yeah. Yeah, you've seen that as well. Yeah. 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 I don't want to hate on guys too much, but like, come on, guys, come on. Like I still been in. I notice like as well. Sometimes if I had a lot of caffeine in like the day and I go out at night, and I can be a bit jittery at night if I'm solo as well. And if the girl's very fit, I'm like, oh fucking hell. And I look at it for a while. I might hesitate for a while, but I will eventually go in. In the daytime, you've got to be swift. At nighttime, one of the things I like is you can hesitate for quite a while. As long as you eventually go in, you're good. Remember there was a girl who was doing loads of selfies in a club. I think it was like a couple of summers ago. I always remember this because I was like, oh man, I feel a bit jittery. It's a bit weird. I genuinely think it might have been because of caffeine. And I couldn't get an angle on her. I was like, wow, she's what is she with? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But eventually I did go in and she wasn't that receptive, but I still got a number, messaged her. We ended up meeting up. And actually the date went really fucking well. So, yeah, no one's perfect, but you should be going in. You should be going in. It's weird that like me as an introvert, as a genuine introvert, I'm outperforming like pretty much almost all of the extroverts, really. Like almost all of them. Well, I'd say I'm an ambivert, let me put it that way. I'm not a hardcore introvert, but I'd say I'm an ambivert. I'm definitely not a hardcore extrovert. Definitely not. So that's scheduling. Was there anything else I've got here? Yeah, as I say, I want to actually dedicate the minimum amount of time possible to this. But also, I've had times in my life, so this might be relevant to you, Richie. I've had times in my life where I was like, no, I want to go out every fucking night, which I did, and barely kept hold of a job. This was after I had my health problems. I didn't even care about my job anyway. I was afraid of death. I was like, I just want to live now. Yeah. Fuck waiting for the future to enjoy myself, because I was doing that and my future basically nearly got taken away from me. I want to live right now. So that was my mentality. I was like, I'll go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm out. Friday, I might take off. Maybe out Saturday. And so it's just out constantly. So I had a phase like that. I definitely had a phase like that. Yeah, that's where a lot of my escapades and stories and experience comes from. Those years, man. Yeah, you did it exactly. You did it last November. We did it last November. You might have a period this summer. You might go out, 3-4 days a week. You know, depends on the place. Also depends on your company as well. Like when I had the Wolfpack in Sheffield, it was fucking crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, in London you can't be asked. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, North Macedonia, like Skopje, I love it here, but I'm doing one session on a Saturday, maybe a few approaches on a Sunday, and that's it. I can't be. I did an approach today, and it was quite a funny one, but just a compliment stop. Um, yeah, I can't really be asked either. Uh, it's interesting being in a place where I genuinely love this place. I genuinely love it, but I just don't. I'm just not interested in the girls at all. Some of them are quite pretty and stuff, but there's something where where you like your DNA isn't quite lining up. It feels a bit like that. Um, and I like them. They're cool people. I've got everything positive to say about them, and they're attractive as well in many cases. I would say, yeah. Um, but there's something there that is not lining up for me. Um, so it's weird to be in. It's interesting being in places like this, which I love the place. I don't care about the girls at all. Lisbon used to be like that before all the tourists went, because Portuguese girls in Lisbon, bro, are not fit at all. They are not fit at all. Portuguese Lisbon girls are not good. The fittest girls in Lisbon by far are Brazilian and Angolan, by far. So I used to go and I used to find it quite relaxing. I'd be on a tube, I look around, I was like, there's no fit women here at all. Oh my God, it's quite relaxing. I have to think about women. Yeah, and then I just go to a club. Okay, now I can think about it. So yeah, it's interesting how the brain works. Yeah, and then I think the last topic after scheduling, was there anything else I wanted to say on scheduling? Yeah, I mean, eventually, this is the last point. Eventually, this will take me into the last topic as well. Eventually, this whole approach thing, eventually it will run its course. And when that will be, I don't know. It might be, for me, a few more years. It might be 10 years. Will I still be out cold approaching at 70? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Not even at 60, yeah? Not even at 55, yeah? It will run its course, because you'll get to a point where you'll either have just had enough experiences and you just don't give a shit anymore, which I almost feel I'm at that point, to be honest. It's kind of a sad realization when you get there. It's like, I don't even care anymore. It's weird. Yeah, I'm actually fighting it as well. I'm actually fighting it. I'm fighting it in my mind. It's weird. Because I think, especially when you're younger, a woman can be such an adventure to you. They say, like, don't make the woman the adventure. And of course, like, you have your own adventures, but, like, a woman is an adventure. Like, I'm fucking sorry. Like, she just is, yeah? You meet this fucking chick. She's like, when I was in Belgrade, I met this fucking Bosnian singer. She was fucking gorgeous. And we got on super well. I was like imagining me, like, I was, oh man, like, imagine I was going out with her. I'll fucking take her to this club. He'll be fucking sick. I'll be like fucking Al Pacino in this club, and then I'll go to a club and she's singing there one day, and then she's got all the punters looking at her. I'll come over and I'll fucking look at her and stuff like. I've actually done things like this with things in the past, and it's like all these things. The bartender, and I'll go and see her when she's working. The guys at the bar look at me, and it's whatever the fuck's going on, or the waitress, whatever the fuck's going on. Yeah. fucking waitresses. You go through all of that, and it is fun. It's an adventure. They're part of your adventure as well. You're an adventure to them. But at a certain point, it's just like I've just got no fucking energy left. I want to do other things as well. That's another point. I don't want to just. I don't actually. You know, I went so hard basically because I had a near-death experience. To be honest with you, not like also arguably worse than a near-death experience because it lasted a lot longer. So that's why I went so hard. I'd consciously sacrificed pleasure for years in favor of like high achievement. And I had a girlfriend, but like, and then when I split with her, I didn't bother. So this is why I went so hard in the other direction of wanting to experience everything in life, because what happens if life just finishes and you haven't fucking experienced everything? That was my mentality. But now I feel like I have actually experienced stuff. What I want to do is help other guys have their experiences. And do I need it more of it myself? Like, do I even have the fucking time? Can I even be asked? Probably not. Probably fucking not. It's a sad realization. But yeah, you can't really fight it. It's just one of those things. And this brings me on to the last topic, which is got my fucking Cuban cigar here. Do you smoke cigars, Richie? I feel like you do. The last one here is women as an asset. Women as an asset. Women as an asset class. Are they an appreciating asset or the depreciating asset? So women as an asset. Your woman as an asset, and that kind of brings me around to the thumbnail. You know, men and women have been assets to each other for fucking millennia, literally millennia, like 300,000 years. We could not have survived without each other, yeah? And women, sure as shit, I mean, we all fucking know, have no ability to survive in a natural world on their own. Zero, flat zero. Yeah, I know we're in high-tech world, but without men, obviously that would all fall apart. We know that, right? But also men, yeah, be a pretty fucking depressing existence for us as well. And we couldn't procreate without women. And they also have lots of values as well, right? That they can bring to the table, right? Yeah, I'm being very generous here. No, I think they do. I think they do. If you think there's like no smart women out there who can be smart in their womanly ways, that's just not real. Yeah, some of the discussions I'd have on this probably would have to go offline because I have looked into different civilizations in history. It's interesting their different approaches on things, but basically, men and women do need each other. They do, and you know, who's going to raise your children? Like, you're just a fucking another bloke going to raise your children. You know what I mean? So you don't have the proper gear for cigars. Messed up the last one. It was a gift. Oh, you only drink wine. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've not smoked a cigar for fucking years, man. Years. A friend of mine said, it was a brutal statement, is there any benefit to smoking? And I was like, no. And I think since then, I've basically never smoked anything again, like the cigarette, cigar, nothing. It's just like, there's no benefit to it. So just don't do it. But yeah, sometimes it is quite fun, a little cigar, you know, around the fucking gents table, you know. It can be fun. Maybe the Balkans is influencing me. Everyone chain smokes out here. I've still resisted though. I haven't smoked a single cigarette out here. It's not that appealing, to be honest. Yeah, it's also just like, you know, I like to like feel young and stuff. I already push myself hard enough. I don't need to handicap myself as well. I didn't even smoke shisha in Turkey, which was my fucking mom and my mate were smoking shisha in Turkey. But yeah, women as an asset. Women as an asset. Men and women have survived so much together, right? Forming families, fighting as hard as possible. And that's the type of woman you want. It's the type of woman you want. I can't really relate to women who are just got life on easy mode, who are petty, who are retarded. I've got no fucking time for it at all. I've got none at all. In my romantic life, it's a straight delete. I mean, they won't even get through the door, man. They won't even get through the door. If I sense any of that shit, I don't have the time, bro. We are talking about survival here. I'm trying to make my mark on the world. Maybe if we have a family, we'll be talking about survival. Like this is stuff that requires maximum output, or at least it requires peace of mind, consistency. So yeah, for me, like a woman has to be an asset. She has to be an asset. I know Christian's like he's got a girl over there now in Thailand, and he's like from from basically the few things he said about it. I know he likes to keep it private. It's like, yeah, this girl is an obvious asset. Yeah, obvious asset. Um, the girl I was with last year, to be honest, my last few girls have been fairly good assets. And when it breaks apart is when they fucking stop being assets, man, and they turn into liabilities. Maybe it's on me to manage better. I don't know. I need to learn a bit more management. But fucking hell. But yeah, the assets versus liabilities. You have to have an asset, dude. You have to. And I wrote down genetics here because I was like, let's say the girl's got 10 out of 10 genetics. Like you'll have super babies, but she's detrimental to you. What is that like? Is that super baby worth the actual detrimental impact on your life? Or would you be better with like an 8 out of 10 who actually was an asset? I'd go with the 8. Yeah. Can we find a 10 who's an asset? That's another question. We find a 10 who's an asset, then we've got to be serious operators. Ourselves, we've got to have our shit sorted out ourselves. Yeah, me and Stinner were talking. I won't reveal any of the conversation, but we talked about this assets versus liabilities. If we're going to fulfill our potential as men on this earth, on our masculine journeys, there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to it. And if your girl's, if she's a liability, you're better off alone. However fit she is, however much pair bonded you are, because she's got a nice batty and she's got a tight pussy, however pair bonded you are. Yes, I agree. I agree, Balthus. I agree, and thanks for saying that as well. I absolutely agree. Yeah, because that's a form of me. You know what that is? That's me. That's me reflecting on previous experiences, particularly in the UK, and drawing the conclusion there has to be a trade-off, which is garbage, because those women are just fucking low-tier women. And then I've been to what I've actually found usually the opposite is usually the best girls are also the hottest, and they're the best, the most intelligent, the coolest, and they're the biggest assets as well. That's a mistake in my mind. Yeah, so it's a thought experiment, but is that a thought experiment? Is that a form of bargaining? Maybe. So thanks for pointing that out. Yeah. I remember thinking about the Miss World that I approached in Salvador de Bahia. We actually got on like fucking well. I was like, I really, nothing happened in the end. Like we didn't even meet up. We just had our one approach, like fucking crazy approach in the mall. Obviously, the girl's got a crazy busy life. She's fucking Miss Universe. But I was like, the vibe I got from her was like, she actually would be an asset. Like, she'd probably cook. She'd probably be a really good girlfriend, Yeah, it's a false belief. It's making excuses. But it's also like, for example, you get with a girl who she's like solid, she's fit, but she's not the fittest girl you've ever had, but she's a real asset. That's when the question starts to rise as well. That's when the question starts to come up as well. That's what I had probably last year. It's not like it's weird because the standards on where I was living was so ridiculous. Like my girl was average, and especially body wise in fucking Europe, she would not be average. No way. But she was literally average. Because there were so many fit girls, I just got on with her personality. I was like, maybe I could go even fitter though. With even better personality. Do you know what I mean? So you can always get better. But then the other question as well is, what will that solve? And are you ready for that? Do you have that life ready to be that guy? Maybe you do. Maybe you need a little bit more seasoning though. Like just a bit more, in the way of business experience, and life experience. Yeah. But yeah, it's a false belief. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Especially if you're internationally mobile as well. Especially if you're internationally mobile. What can happen though is you can start to normalize the locality that you're in. It's just a natural process that happens. So I started to normalize every locality I'm in. I start to normalize based on that locality. And I do have a better perspective now because I have traveled. So I do have that global abundance in mind, but it's quite hard to actually maintain that. And yeah, so I can be like, like for example, here in Macedonia, I'm like, I almost thought like, asking a girl out today at the gym who was like, just when I finish my workout, I was like, she's a white girl with an absolute fucking batty on her. You know these new Lycra where they put a crack down the middle like an actual G string? This girl had a batty on her as well. Oh God. But then I can't remember, she was like leaving at the same time with me, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, it's crazy because a year ago I wouldn't even fucking look twice at her. I was thinking of asking her out. I was thinking of going over to her, despite my gym-induced autism, which is like I really don't like to. They really don't want to approach in the gyms. I said earlier on. Um, yeah, so you absorb the local talent, and then you can kind of be guilty of engaging on that basis, which is why it's very good to go to places like Valhalla, Belgrade, San Domingo, places like that, like with real fucking places with real fucking talent there. What about settling with a 7 or 8 and being happy? Cash out? Nope. No one postpones is deliberately looking for better, apart from a rare few. Yeah, you can get back. You can get the 10. You can get the 10. You actually can. The question I do have though as well, and this is what I'd say to younger guys. This is like honestly the God's honest truth for me. I'm 39. I wonder if I've overshot. It's like you get to the train station. You were at the station, bro. Get off the train. No, you just kept going. Now you're plowing through everything. You're going off road. Where the fuck are you in Bosnia, dude? What the fuck are you doing? So, but that's fine. Like I'm genuinely thrilled that this happened. But part of me, there's a sliding doors thing, right? There's a sliding doors thing in your mind of, was I at the destination already? I should have got off. Um, yeah. For me, I don't know though, because of my desire to do what I'm doing now has been a lifelong fucking desire, like literally lifelong. And I've been doing it for 4 years, and it's been by miles the best 4 years of my life. Like all the other stuff I did before was all great, fine. This last 4 years have been like, wow, historic for me. So yeah, but for guys who don't have that, because I do recognize like most people don't aspire to be like Captain fucking Blackbird sailing around Blackbeard sailing the high seas. That's just what I want to do. But like most people want maybe a bit of travel and stuff, but they actually do want more that local life and whatever. That's fucking awesome, dude. The world would completely fall apart if everyone was like me too. You need a few people like me. The world would fall apart if that was the case, right? So yeah, what point do you go, this is good, man, I'm good with this? Yeah. And a girl's personality is very important, man. That's going to give you that longevity. It's going to give you that longevity. Um, yeah, settling with a 7 or 8 and be happy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that 7 or 8 better have a fucking tremendous personality, though. And she better be an asset. I'd say more towards an 8. I think a 7 is selling yourself short. I do. If you can approach and you're a solid guy, more towards an 8 with everything else on point, good. Yeah. But why not a 10 with everything else on point? Yeah, why not? If you are gonna go down that domestic route, why not make it with a fucking 10? Produce super babies. Produce your fucking super athletes, super genius athletes, Viking children. Yeah. Or whatever they might be. They might be I don't know, like the fucking future Jude Bellingham, yeah. could be an angle. I sometimes think that, like, when I approached that Olympian, I was like, man, I'm pretty, I'm pretty solid build, but with her fucking frame as well, my God, I could produce a Jude Bellingham. Like, combine those two together, fucking hell, be absolutely dangerous. Yeah, it's interesting like that, but I don't think it is. Yeah, I really don't think it is. No, I don't think it is a trade-off. Um, in most countries as well, like the girls all have to be good. I don't have the option to be shit. Um, I think in general, there's probably more attractive women around the world globally. Yeah, I'd rather be with a 6 than a 10 with a personality disorder for the Wing Bro t-shirt shop. Yeah, they should do a fucking. Hey, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? A whole brand on Wing Bro. What do you think of the name, by the way? I thought it was. I thought it was a nice reflection of what I would like this to be. Um, I went with a few. I was experimenting with a few different things, and I thought, yeah, this works. It's right. It's right. Um, yeah, a bit more marketable. Yeah, yeah. I think I've got 80 new subscribers in the last like month or two, like basically 30 days, which is quite a lot. I my channel before I restarted it up this year, it had like maybe, I don't know, 200 subscribers or something. I did like a few videos based on they were actually like, I did what I did, yeah, just some fairly obscure topics, um not on camera either. And it got like, some of them got quite some views, got like 600 views back in the day. I didn't actually realize that was quite a lot. Um, I thought that was quite shit, to be honest with you. And I think I did one which got a couple of thousand. So I did get some subscribers, which I'd sporadically take like a current affairs thing and talk about it, talk about a few different things. Um, but yeah, doing this now online, face up to the camera, it's a different fucking world. It's a different fucking world. It's good. It's good personal development. I'm happy to do this for like certainly like another year. Certainly, and just see where it ends up. See if I can get better. I know I've got the minerals. I know I've got the minerals in what I'm talking about. It's whether learning to present it is such a fucking art form. It's such an art form. There's so much to do. There's so much to do. Even like like you look at the drop off rate on your videos, it's like fucking the people drop off like every 8 seconds, like 3 people have dropped out, you know what I mean? And then you get like 20% who watch the whole thing. So you're trying to fight that curve, and it's fucking interesting, dude. It's fucking interesting. Yeah. So yeah, your 10 can be an asset. Your 10 can be an asset. But I think you've got to be, the last thing I'll say here is if you're going to be in something serious, you've got to know you want something serious, and you've got to have your life sorted out. And then you've got to just pick the right girl, or at least like she's probably the right girl. And you just go, okay, let's move forward with this. Let's move forward with this. Yeah. Get off the train at the right stop. And I actually do wonder if I've overshot the stop. Maybe I did, but I kind of felt that I had to. So that's what I say to younger guys. If you're like around 28, 30, 32, if you've got an option and your life is sorted out and you do want to have a family, I actually think maybe go for it, because you can get to a certain point where you're just like, can I even be asked at this point? Like, I've come this far and I've got this much freedom to now change that lifestyle to something else could be quite fucking difficult. So yeah, I don't know if I have I don't have the ultimate answer there, to be honest with you. Yeah, my life went a certain way. I mean, the events that happened in my life, they just went a certain way. So I am where I am, and I'm fucking happy with it. But it went a certain way. Had things gone in a different way, probably you guys would never have met me. I've got married at 25 and just never even Had no clue what I was fucking talking about. Yeah, family should be embraced and not seen as a limitation. Bro, I understand, but I move countries every 2 months, so yeah. Um, I've spoken with guys who are older than me who've got families and stuff who started families late, and I've had very candid conversations with them on this. And one of my friends who's he's Italian restaurant owner. I've had very candid conversations with him because he'd always see me going to his, fucking cafe. He'd always say like, "Fucking hell, every couple of weeks, I always see you bringing different girls in." So, but he loved it though. He fucking loved it. The Italians love it. They love all that. And and then I started to travel. So whenever I go back, I'll see him. And he had his first child during the pandemic at 50 or 52 or something. And I was like, "What's it like, mate?" And he goes, "It's full on, bro. It's full on. It's full on." And I was like, "What do you think about, you know, doing it with my lifestyle?" And he's just like, "Mate, you can't do it. You can't do it. If you live in the lifestyle you live in," which I told him about, he's like, "You just can't do that, dude. It's not on the cards." So for me, there would be an element of like, I'd have to obviously change things up a little bit. I'd definitely have to change things up a little bit. But no, again, I live an extreme lifestyle, dude. It's fucking extreme. So, in my own way, I'm an extremist. We're a fucking bunch of extremists in the entourage, but like, you know, in different ways, but still quite extreme. You know. Um, but yeah, I think having seeing things in a positive way is solid. I mean, I see my brother with his with my nephews and stuff like that, and it gives me like, I mean, it gives me, I feel so much love for them, which I didn't expect to be honest. Like my fucking nephews, who gives a shit? To be honest, as my brothers. But actually, I really love them. Like they could come live with me. On it, they genuinely could. Like I'd be a lot fucking stricter than your dad would be with you, but you know, um, yeah, yeah. So it's interesting, these little creatures around you. Even actually, one of my ex-girlfriends who was from the DR, who's the first girl I met from the DR, that was in Sheffield, UK. I met her with her two sisters. Her fucking dad had eight children. Yeah, seven daughters and one son. Her dad, Luis, he's a fucking legend. He's such a nice guy as well. And I saw these three girls, and I was like, I've never seen girls like that. I've seen a lot of nationalities. I've never seen girls like that. I was like, are you guys from Cuba or something? I'd been to Cuba, but I was like, maybe you're from a remote part of Cuba. They had like mahogany skin, but like glowing, like mahogany slash a little bit with a tint of orange, and like really fine features. I was just like, where the fuck are you guys from? What? They just look like extraterrestrials, man. Um, and then yeah, I remember going over and approach and whatever. Eventually ended up getting with one of them like maybe a year later on, and had this whole thing with her. And she had a son. She had a son, this girl. She was 28, I was 31, I think. And she had a son. She had a 9-year old. So she had him when she was 19. And I basically still keep in touch with them. I messaged her actually today, and he's now 16, that guy, and it's quite funny because he's absolutely fucking jacked now. He's like a jacked Dominican kid living in England, um, and just such a nice family, and like even them two. There was times I'd go out and I was like, man, it's almost like I've got a little family here. I quite enjoyed it, So I was almost like taking a bit of a, not quite a fatherly role, but like definitely like a solid uncle role, like very, very solid uncle role with the kid. And I still do even now because I just like them basically. I just like that. That's my one time I've been with a single mom. Any other time I've just dismissed it out of hand. That was just a complete exception because they were really good people. And but I always said like, by the way, I'm not shacking up with a single mom, so this is what it is. Um, but yeah, we eventually went. Yeah, we eventually went our separate ways, and yeah, She's now married to another guy in the UK. I told her, you need to get married to a guy who's got children, because you will be basically a goal. You will be an asset compared to his ex. Whoever he is, if he's got an English ex, you will be 20 times the woman she is. And that's what happened. The guy meets her, completely falls in love with a guy, like he's fucking built like a Viking, this guy. She's had 2 more children with him. So it's all good. It's all good. That's the one time that I've had that experience. Also, my nephews and so on. So, yeah, let's have a look here. Have landed the DRS of 50 with a younger girl. Yeah, that probably would be a good angle, to be honest. That'd be a good angle. I think at a certain point, I would. There must be a point when you're like, when you hit 50, where you're like, what else can I even do at this point? That's kind of how I'm feeling now, almost. I'm like, I've got a lot of plans for my 40s, which I didn't think I was going to have, but I'm starting to develop them. I'm like, shit, yeah, I can do some really cool stuff in my 40s. Now I've got a platform. 20s just had no fucking platform to do anything. Your dad must have been 55 when you were born, yeah. Exactly, because he's he's in his 80s now, right? So he's still around, he's still around. And you've grown up to be a solid guy as well. So, yeah. There's benefits to being more mature. I think probably the optimal age, honestly, I think probably is about 30. If you've like matured enough and you are where you want to be financially, I think that is the optimal age. But if you're not where you want to be, then don't fucking do it, in my opinion. Maybe 40 could be optimal as well. I don't know. I felt like about 30 would have been optimal, but I wasn't there. This complicated fucking world we live in. If I was a caveman, it would have been easy. Just spaffed her up at like fucking, when I was fucking 16, it would have been easy. I'd have grandchildren by now, 39. So yeah, so make sure your girl is an asset. A 10 can still be an asset. And this is a good point about time. Contextualizing time as men. Time is our great privilege. Time is our great privilege. Yeah. And as international men, that's also our great privilege as well. We can't, you can't have it all at the same time, but you can make use of time in a way. We've got a long fertility window. Yeah. Some of the stories of guys getting children in their 50s and 60s even. Yeah. Just people I know. So yeah, it can be done. It can be done. Right, boys, that's been a 2-hour live. Absolute fucking legends, Richie and Balthus, for actually staying with me. Always good to see you guys on. Hopefully I've covered some good topics there. Yep, still working on this YouTube channel. Trying to give people value, trying to share my experiences, and hopefully get some other guys across the threshold, get some other guys to like have some of these experiences that I've had. I'm not a fucking expert, but like I can definitely help guys have those experiences so you don't go to your grave like wishing and wanting and wondering, like at least you fucking had the experience. So that's my ambition with the channel. So we'll leave things there. Heading to Belgrade tomorrow. So my next live will be from my old apartment again in central Belgrade, next to San Sava's Cathedral. I can't fucking wait to go back there. What a place the Balkans is. I wonder what the weather's going to be like. We'll see. Laku noć, boys. Take it easy.